All right. So today we're going to make chocolate mousse, and we're going to make it with coconut milk. So this is coconut milk. It's the stuff you would use if you're going to do some Thai cooking. It's full of lovely fat, but it's very healthy fat. So one of the problems that I've always had, besides getting this lid off, is that, oh, good, and I picked the right end, is that when you have coconut milk and it's been sitting in your cupboard for a little while or on the shelf at the grocery store, that it's part of it has gone really solid. So whoops, the first time I tried to do this, I just tried to use a whisk to try to incorporate everything. And I was basically just going to make what they call chia pudding made with coconut milk. I'm just going to write this up. It would not be me cooking if I didn't get something on me while I was doing it. So what the problem I would have is I would have all these like chunks of the fat floating around in there that I couldn't break up. And then I put the chia seeds in, and then what would happen is that when I would be eating it, there would be like a big chunk of the milk or the coconut milk fat. So one day I tried this and I thought, oh, my daughter gave me an immersion blender. That should be able to take those chunks out. And not only did it, but it also created this beautiful mousse because it got all injected with air so that it foamed up. Now, if you didn't know this about coconut milk, you can actually create whipped cream from it. By continuing to use the immersion blender or putting it into a blender and blending it like I would heavy cream, it will eventually turn into whipped cream. So if you are allergic to, if you're dairy intolerant, you can still have your whipped cream, but it's made with coconut milk. So to this, because you can do this with or without chocolate. If you just want a vanilla mousse, you can have vanilla mousse, but if you like chocolate, and who doesn't? What female doesn't? We're going to put 2 tablespoons of cacao powder. So cacao powder is not cocoa powder. It's even spelt slightly different with it. CACAO. And it is pure chocolate. There's no sugar in here. This is not sweet at all. If you taste it, it tastes very bitter. But at the same time, if you've already changed your taste buds so that sugar is not your friend anymore, then it doesn't taste as bitter as it used to. As a matter of fact, now it's quite yummy to me. And I'm going to add, and this is powdered erythritol. So you can buy this, you can buy all the stuff on Amazon, except for probably the coconut milk, maybe even that. Powdered erythritol sugar, it's confection, or it's also called confection sugar. It's just erythritol that's been put into a process where it's powderized. You can actually even do it if you have a grinder. If you have one of those coffee grinders, you can put erythritol sugar in there and pulverize it until it comes out as a powder. So try not to get chocolate in here. And so I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of cocoa and 1 tablespoon of the powdered sugar. Tablespoon of it seems like a lot, but because it's powdered, it's really not as much sugar as you think it is. Or sweetener. Now, hopefully I won't get this all over me. Oops, I take the stand off. So now I'm going to put my immersion blender in here and start to and you have to kind of lift it and tip it, move it around, because you need to make sure that you're getting all the chocolate properly incorporated. And we're doing this, and as you do it, you notice that you start to get these bubbles. The bubbles will start to form, and you got to be, at a point where it's thickening up, but it's not whipped cream yet. Looks pretty good. You can see it's kind of thick as it drips off. It's still liquid. So how do we make it mousse? You're going to need chia seeds. And I discovered that chia seeds come in two colors. They come in white and they come in black. So if you're making things that are lighter colored, white ones are probably a better choice. If you're making things that are darker, like chia jam and stuff like that, the black ones are fine because, well, who cares anyway? Excuse me. You won't be able to see the chia seeds once they start to blossom. So we're going to now, and I'm just going to, I'm going to just do this up a little bit. Clean this off a little bit before I drip it all over the floor. Now we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. But before I do that, I'm just going to mix a little bit of vanilla in. I almost forgot about the vanilla. Well, I got a measuring spoon here, but I'm one of those people who just kind of go. So I'm just going to put about a half a teaspoon of vanilla in, just because. And I almost forgot the most important thing. I'm going to put just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. Why? Because salt makes chocolate wake up. Whenever you make chocolate, anything, you should always add just a little bit of salt. Not a lot, just a little bit. So we're going to take the chia seeds now, and we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. So it takes about 2 hours. Sometimes more, depends on your chia seeds. Sometimes less. And what you're going to do, you're going to put this now into, you could leave it, I guess, into this your bowl that you use. Now you see, this has now turned 400 milliliters, or that would be roughly about a cup and a half of cocoa milk, coconut milk into over 2 cups. So it's expanded just by zapping it and blending it. So you're going to put this into a container, and you're going to let the chia seeds do their thing. And you're going to, once in a while, just agitate the container in the first hour or so, just to make sure the chia seeds didn't just all sink to the bottom. And once that's, and you put it in the fridge, once it's got set, you'll know. And I'm going to show you. I'll show you what it looks like when it's set. I'm just praying that this hasn't decided to like go to water or something weird. And when it's set, this is what you get. You can see that. Beautiful mousse. Isn't that lovely?
Yummy. Yummy.
That is yummy. And believe me, it tastes better than it looks. So, chia seeds, they're a miracle thing. Not only do they give it fiber, so they go into this kind of a mucousy state. You can put them into water and you can see it happen after a period of time. They'll start to expand and expand and expand. They absorb the water and they become very viscous and mucousy looking. And they're like the same kind of idea as psyllium fiber, where they start to thicken up whatever you put it into. And they're supposed to be healthy and everything. They have a lot of fat. So the fat that they have in chia seeds is also a healthy fat to eat. So that's how you do chocolate mousse. And now I'm going to have a lot of chocolate mousse to eat, but my daughter is hoping I'm going to donate some to her. And it's even starting to thicken up already. You can see how thick that is getting. And it takes a couple of hours though. You can't make this and sit down and eat it right away. But if you make it in the morning, like this will be set by the time dinner time comes. So you would be able to have it for dessert for dinner. But you also have to look at this. You're only going to want not much more than what I just lifted up with that spoon. You're going to have maybe a couple of those, and it's only going to be a couple of carbs in it after you factor out the fiber in it. So it's a very satisfying way to curb your craving for something yummy and sweet when you think you're feeling like you're being deprived today. So